the ancient giants with 6 fingers and double rows of teeth. Alexander Light, Humans Are Free, reports, for centuries, giants have been the basis for many legends and fairy tales, myths, and these tales aren't specific to the certain place, as every culture on Earth has their own beliefs and stories of towering humans with massive strength. Why does the idea of super large, disproportionate humans resonate with so many of our conscious minds? Maybe it's because proof of their existence on Earth has been found for centuries, but the powers that be have denied and hidden the remains that have been found for many varying races and sizes. In the American Southwest, a tribe of red-haired, 6-fingered mummified giants were recently discovered in a cave. Their height spans up to 12 feet tall, but the discovery was not shocking for local Native Americans, the Paiutes, as the tribe's oral history includes numerous records of their battles with giants. These accounts were written down by Sarah Winnemucca Hopkins, the daughter of a Paiute chief. Her story explains how the giants were killed in cannibalizing her people, killing them and cannibalizing them. They were man-eating cannibals. Now, the Native American storyteller believes that these gigantic beings were the actual original inhabitants of the Americas, preceding modern Native Americans by thousands of years. Modern Native Americans are believed by most mainstream archaeologists to have inhabited the Americas around 9,500 BC. That's about 13,000 years ago, and have populated both continents rapidly. It is thought that they hunted and destroyed the last known gigantic mammals. More recent discoveries are causing open-minded scholars to evaluate whether or not the Native Americans had eliminated only gigantic mammals. Evidence has increased that suggests Native Americans also fought and defeated gigantic humans as well. Remember that due to new discoveries, the actual dates for human settlements of the Americas had been pushed back tens of thousands of years. Discoveries accepted by even mainstream archaeologists include various clothing and artifacts, and yet the multiple discoveries of numerous ancient gigantic skeletons throughout the Americas have been kept quiet, possibly reburied or held in the vaults of the Smithsonian. There are many versions of the story telling how these giants came into existence, but the best documented version is written in the Bible, the Holy Bible, which reads as follows. Genesis 6:4. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were men of old, men of renown. The passage speaks of the Nephilim, which when translated to English means the fallen ones. The Nephilim were believed to be the product of copulation between the sons of God and human women and are known as biblical giants and giant warriors. Throughout the Old and New Testament, scriptures allude to this intermingling which created the giants who were known for their violence, atrocities, and even cannibalism. Similar tales were told by the Sumerians. They speak of fallen angels they know as gods who lived among them and taught them the way of civilized life, and this similar belief is present with the ancient Romans, ancient Greeks, Mayans, ancient Egyptians, and the Inca civilizations. Evidence of these ancient giants is present in old township and county records. Most include quotes from old letters and diaries going back as far back as the 1700s. In that time period, theories regarding the origin of life on Earth mainly relied on creationist views. Those who dug up giant skeletons were astonished by their findings, believing they had stumbled upon the cursed remains of unholy creatures. Some believed various earthworks were not built by ancestors of the Native Americans, but rather during a more remote period of time that was characterized by a very different social order. And it's said that from the 18th century to even the 20th century, giant skeletons were routinely found in mounds and caves throughout North America by amateur excavators. These discoveries are more concentrated around the Ohio Valley, which was the epicenter of the Native American life. According to the original eyewitnesses, it was here that intrepid settlers discovered giant skeletons and numerous irreplaceable artifacts. these settlers had a great interest in discovering the true story, the true history. It is said that many of these giant skeletons were exposed to the elements and as a result molded away into the soil hours or days after the exposure. The skeletal remains of these ancient giants not only reveal their height, but characteristics that can only be described as bizarre and unusual. The average giant is approximately 50% taller and at least 100% larger than the typical human being is. It is believed they could carry at least 6 times as much weight as a normal man. It was common for these giants to have remnants of red or blonde hair. Facial features including high foreheads, high cheekbones, extremely strong chins, and some with a prominent gap between the 2 front teeth. The hair color and facial features are strongly related to the European culture. Truly unusual characteristics include double dentation, meaning 2 sets of teeth. One was situated behind the other. The reasoning behind this is still not clarified, but it's speculated that the purpose was to form a better grip on their food. Unique to the giants is the existence of 6 digits, an extra finger on each hand and an extra toe on each foot. This trait has also been described in the Old Testament, in the Holy Bible. Although more rare, some giant skeletons are said to have had horns which protruded from their heads similar to those of goats. These horned skeletons were found in Pennsylvania in the 1880s and described as being 7 feet tall with 2-inch horny projections extending from above the eyebrows. It was at that estimated time that the bodies had been buried around 12,000 AD. The remnants were sent to the American Investigating Museum, where it was later claimed that they were stolen. Evidence suggesting the massive strength of these ancient giants has also been discovered in an ancient copper mine located in North Wales. More than 2,500 sledgehammers were discovered. The largest sledgehammer found was noted to be 64 pounds. A hammer of this size is not known to have ever been manufactured. It's estimated that the handle of the sledgehammer had to be at least 9 feet in length. And despite the existing evidence of the giant's existence, mainstream archaeology works to seal our imaginations by interpreting the past of North America as nothing other than usual in the way of characterized cultures. It's rumored that beneath the Vatican, many vaults contain the very contents responsible for filling our imaginations for countless generations, and these contents are said to be the undeniable evidence that these ancient giants were the first inhabitants of our world. This is by Loch Lip, and it's on Humans Are Free by Alexander Light. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.